This is a story of a 16-year-old girl who was starved to death. Her name is Sabrina Ray.
It was so dramatic and it was so hard and it hurt so bad, and I'm probably not getting the right words out.
Hey guys, this is a story that I just heard from Dave, also known as Adventure Unknown. I'll put the link to his channel. He alerted a bunch of us on his live today about this sad story of Sabrina Ray, 16, who was found dead at a home in Perry. She lived in a home where a home daycare last year had 2 complaints about alleged abuse and mistreatment. This is in Idaho. The adopted grandmother of 16-year-old from Perry who starved to death last year, admitted she failed to seek medical attention for the dying girl and that she locked her 2 adopted sisters in the room with her as she died. You guys, this is crazier. Carol Bozeman, 63, was sentenced to 20 years in prison Friday after pleading guilty to neglect of a dependent person, accessory after the fact, obstruction of prosecution, 2 counts of false imprisonment, and 2 counts of child endangerment. So right here is the grandma. This is unbelievable. I don't understand how we haven't heard about this nationally. You know what I mean? This is, wow. And child services went in there? Wow. Carol Bozeman pleads guilty and is sentenced to 20 years in prison Friday in Dallas County District Court to 2 counts of false imprisonment, 1 count of neglect of a dependent person, 1 count of accessory after the fact, 1 count of obstruction of prosecution, and 2 counts of child endangerment. Friday, April 6, 2018. Okay, guys, this gets worse. This story gets worse. Bozeman was caring for Sabrina Ray and her 2 adopted sisters at their home in Perry on May 12, 2017, the day of Sabrina's death. But she didn't seek medical attention when she realized Sabrina was in distress. She admitted in Dallas County Court Friday. Okay, viewer discretion is advised at this point. Please be 18 years or over. Also, just your sensitivity levels. If you can't handle this, please. So, and this is all under Fair Use Act 107. She had woke up vomiting and had soiled herself and her clothes. And I just thought that she wasn't feeling well. And I gave her a shower and cleaned her all up, Bozeman said. Sabrina, mind you, she's 16 years old, guys, Sabrina weighed 56 pounds and was severely malnourished at the time of her death, authorities have said. Bousman said she confined the two other children in a locked room with Sabrina as she died, limiting their access to food, water, restroom. She also admitted to concealing evidence from investigators after Sabrina died. This poor child. You guys, I'm sorry. This poor child. I wish I could go back to that day and change everything and do what I know was the proper thing to do, Bousman said. I can't change what was done, but I'm very sorry and miss all my grandchildren very much. Again, this is the grandma. There are photos. I don't really think we want to. Okay. Let me go through this and we'll go to the photos. Assistant Dallas County Attorney Stacy Ritchie asked that Bousman receive the maximum sentence allowed under the plea deal. She said Bousman was the last hope that Sabrina Ray had, but for her neglect, Sabrina may have survived. I do want to say also, there was a CPS social worker / that did go to that home, took pictures of this child, and did not remove her. So I would say that was another last hope. And who hasn't been charged, by the way. Which, as you guys can tell, I'm very aggravated. I'm sorry about that. Dallas County District Court Judge Terry Rickers accepted Bousman's plea Friday and ruled that the sentences for each crime should run consecutively for a total of 20 years. The maximum sentence allowed under the plea deal. After hearing what you had to tell the court today, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the maximum sentence in this case is the only appropriate sentence, Rickers said. Grandmothers are supposed to be special to their grandkids. Grandmas are supposed to spoil their grandkids. Rickers said to Bousman's contact with her grandchildren was nothing but a nightmare for them. Bousman had previously pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree kidnapping, child endangerment, causing death, and obstruction, prosecution, or defense. She was allowed to plead guilty to a lesser charge as part of the deal with prosecutors. Bousman could have faced multiple life sentences had she been convicted of those offenses. Something her attorney, James Nelson, said played into her decision to seek a plea agreement. Well, isn't that nice for you? Glad you had choices. Nielsen said the crimes Bousman pled guilty to Friday accurately reflect the role in causing Sabrina's death. Miss Bousman is willing to accept responsibility for what she did and what she failed to do on May 12th of 2017, he said. More pictures. And trust me, you guys, the pictures are horrible. Sabrina's adoptive parents, Mark Allen Ray, 41, and Misty Jo Bousman Ray, 40, that's her daughter. The lady, the grandma we're seeing right here, Misty is her daughter. Faced multiple felony charges in Sabrina's abuse and death, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, and child endangerment. They have pled not guilty and are requesting to have their trial moved out of Dallas County due to extensive publicity. A trial date has not been set. The husband and wife who ran a daycare center. Yes, folks, it gets worse. They ran a daycare center. The mother and father of this 16-year-old. The husband and wife who ran a daycare center they called Rays of Sunshine Daycare took in Sabrina as a foster child in 2011 and adopted her in 2013. Sabrina's brother, 22-year-old Justin Ray, pleaded guilty in February to 2 counts of willful injury and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Wait till you see what this brother did. Prosecutors said Justin drop-kicked her down a basement staircase, leaving her unable to walk, talk, eat, or drink normally. I don't know if we're going to read this in this. I'm just saying right now, too, he punched her in her throat. Josie Ray Bozeman, Sabrina's 21-year-old cousin, is charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, child endangerment, causing death, and obstructing prosecution. She helped keep Sabrina confined and denied her food and water, according to the criminal complaint. Listen, we're going to go way deeper into this. I hope someone else picks this up as well, like Chasing Truth, Gray Hughes. You guys, the system failed this young girl. I will come back with more on this. I will. This will just be a part 1. But the grandma knew, the adopted parents knew, and they ran a daycare. More evidence will show that the kids that were in the home and they did daycare, they were like 4 years old. They had to like steal food. It's crazy. Then there's a Disney trip. Just when you think things don't get any worse, they locked her up to die. And then there's a Disney trip. I'll be back. This is just part 1. This is just kind of an introduction. Okay? And these are the people who failed her. The grandma, Carol, Misty, the mother. And also, I wish we had a picture of the social worker that went over there and gave him clearance. Not once, but twice.